What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for joining us to another episode of the Red and Gold Standard Podcast. My name is Matt Llewellyn. Zach is unfortunately not with us today. It's the holiday season. Scheduling has been a little bit weird. You know how it goes. We all have families and stuff like that. But my man from Nothing But Niners, the legend himself, Mike Andrews, is here with me. How you doing, Mike?
Let's go, baby. Turn up. Another season has come to an end for the San Francisco 49ers, and I know we got 2 games left, but I'm doing well, man. I'm excited for the holidays. I am excited. My dog just doesn't care that we're doing the shows and knock over my equipment and shit. I'm ready for the holidays. I am in good spirits, and I'm ready to talk some football. I wouldn't even call this Niners ball, but I'm ready to talk some ball. Let's do it. Let's do it, man.
All right. Yeah, you know, 'tis the season to be jolly, and for the 49ers, it's also draft season. So they were officially eliminated from the playoffs prior to kickoff today against the Miami Dolphins, and they came out and put forth an effort that showed exactly why they were eliminated from the playoffs. Absolutely atrocious, just like they've been all season. But you know what? At this point, I'm not even mad about it. This team has so many holes, has so many problems. It's, you know, where do you even begin? Where would you like to begin, Mike? I think it's less about maybe recapping this game and more about where the 49ers go from here, because there are problems literally everywhere.
Before we get to that,
sure,
because we have the rest of this show to be focused on that. I want to know how you're doing, how the family is doing, and are you guys ready for the holidays? Because we don't do a lot of shows throughout the week together, so I probably won't talk to you until after the holiday. So I would like to know how you guys are. What are your plans for the holiday?
Yeah, so we went and visited my brother-in-law and, you know, my wife's side of the family today for, you know, Christmas festivities. And then on Christmas Eve, we're actually flying to Northern California to go be with my mom and that side of the family. So it's going to be busy. Baby's first flight. It's going to be interesting. I'm already a guy that doesn't like to fly that much. And then having to have your toddler with you on her first flight when all she wants to do is run around. I don't know. I feel like I should bring gifts for everybody else on the plane and just apologize in advance. But at least it's only like an hour and 10-minute flight. I'm hoping that we can just let her run around the terminal beforehand and just wear herself out.
Tire herself out.
Just throw on some Miss Rachel or something.
I have never traveled with like an infant toddler type size child. Do they let you bring like a stroller or a walker in or anything like that?
You can gate check some of that stuff. We're not going to have a stroller or a walker specifically because she can run around. We just want her to like absolutely wear herself out.
You want her to? Okay.
What happened?
She's walking already, Matt?
Oh yeah.
How old is she?
She will be 16 months on the 24th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good.
She's been walking for about 4 months now. Yeah.
Solid, man. Okay. All right. That's what I'm talking about.
So
that's good stuff.
Yeah. So how's your family? What are you guys doing for the holidays this year?
Man, this is one of the years where I have been the most excited to give in my family, and that's all sides, right? We have like this adult exchange that we're going to do with my in-laws. We're going to start. We've been doing that with my in-laws for a couple of years now. The children do it, and then I think a year or two ago we implemented the adults participating, and now we're going to start it on my side of the family as well with my mom and her descendants. So I'm really, really excited about that. We spend Christmas Eve every year with my dad and his wife, my stepmom. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. The kids love that part of the year. It's just a fun time of the year. It's less about the gifts and more about just the festivities, getting together, having a couple of drinks, watching whatever sports may be on at the time and all that stuff. And not for nothing, I think my wife and I bodied it this year for Christmas for the kids.
Okay.
So we're at the point where we got to pick out the one that, you know, I got a child sitting here. I can't say what I want to say, but we do one from them, not all from them. So we got to figure out which one we're going to say, yeah. You know, so, but it's going to be a lot of fun, man. And I'm looking forward to that day off. Unfortunately, with my job, I don't have the day after, the day before, or anything like that. I have that one day off, and then we are going straight into inventory mode where I'm literally going to be spending a night or two at the office. I'm not even going to see my family for a solid 24 or 48 hours. So it's going to be different. I've never done inventory at my job before, but I guess with this new position that I'm in, this supervisor role is, you know, different requirements. So.
Well, it looks like we both got a lot going on, just like the 49ers have a lot going on.
Yeah, so I mean, we could talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we don't really have to get into the nitty-gritty of the game. Basically, the game was another game where, the team overall just didn't show up. Didn't put in a lot of fight.
I will say this about the game. This
Sure.
team looked the same. I know that sounds like
Which
what are
has
you
been
talking
bad.
about? They looked like the 2024 version of the San Francisco 49ers.
Is there an even year curse, Mike? I feel like there is.
There has to be something, right?
There has to be something.
It doesn't make any sense to me at all how we can go from the top of the top, and obviously we're not the worst team in the NFL, right? But
Sure.
it damn sure feels like it does. It's not the standard that we're used to playing to. This is not 49ers football. I said let's talk football. I'm not going to call it 49ers football because this ain't us. This isn't it. But we're here, and what I will say is, despite having the fifth running back in and going through all the different linemen that we had and all that stuff, the Niners still were in it the last 2 or 3 possessions with a chance to at least take a lead and things like that. This has been 49ers football all year long. And then the big letdowns in the final couple of drives. The defense keeps them close enough to make things interesting. That this has been the 2024 version of the 49ers. There's pros and cons to take away from that, right?
Sure.
It tells me a couple of things. That when we're plugging and playing random people, they can play to the level that the team has been playing at. Now, that level is down this year, right? But when Jalen Moore went down and they put Spencer Burford over at left tackle, his first couple of – I was like, look at this guy. He didn't look as clean. You could tell it was unusual positioning for him.
Sure.
But he held his blocks. He didn't let Campbell get to him a couple of times. I was like, wow, look at this. And then when they put Zakelj in there, they folded on that first run attempt, like that whole left side, but they ran it to the right. So it was like, all right, it works out, right? So they weren't the best. Watching wide receivers rotate in and out, we saw Deebo. He looked like he hurt something on his wrist. By the way, he looked like he didn't really want to go down on first contact. It was almost like a statement game for Deebo, right? I can't tell you if anybody brought him down on first contact, right? Too little, too late type of thing.
I love that he has the Deebo statement game when it doesn't matter one fucking iota.
Right. Welcome to the Juwan Jennings Club, Deebo.
Welcome to the 2024 49ers. This is exactly what this team – it's a microcosm of the season, right?
Bingo. But they were able to plug and play different people at different times, and it wasn't a drastic drop-off. And I like seeing that. I feel like if we were operating on 49er standards, I feel like that lack of drop-off would be the same, and that's got to be positive for the team going forward as far as evaluation. So I do take that away from this game.
Yeah. For me, listen, I know a lot of people in the chat are hand-wringing about Kyle Shanahan, specifically Will, asking, hey, we need a, where was it, upgrade, head coach, play caller upgrade. If you can give me a answer to who would be better immediately and guaranteed, then sure, we'll talk about it. But guess what? I got news for you. He's not going anywhere. Also, guess what? They're going to pay Brock Purdy. So with those two things out of the way, there's really no point in debating that anymore, no matter what you think. It has to be coming from other places. They're going to pay Brock Purdy. That's just the way that it is. The team has said it. Everybody has said it. They're not going to go after a broken down Kirk Cousins. They're not going to go after ancient and addled out of his mind Aaron Rodgers. They're paying Brock Purdy. It's Purdy and Shanahan all together. So wherever you want to go outside of that is fair game. For me, I think that the assistant coaches need to watch their necks because there was 12 penalties on the team today.
At least 12. I saw, yeah.
And bad. And, it's cool that they want to go out of their way to show Ricky Pearsall getting yelled at by a coach, but where was that the rest of the season? Because I sure didn't see anybody else get yelled at. Right. The only other sideline stuff that I saw was, Deebo Samuel getting in Tabor Pepper's face, and then maybe one or two Kyle Shanahan, Jim Harbaugh gesticulations like he had today when Jake Moody missed another kick. So why don't we start with kicker? He needs to be gone. I'm sure both you and I agree on that. If you can't make kicks, it's your one job. You need to get out. So assistants watch your neck because this is an undisciplined team. Special teams coach Brian Schneider needs to go. Chris Kaczmarek needs to go. Forster needs to go. Whoever the wide receiver coach is needs to go. Strength and conditioning coach needs to go. Just clean shop because it's obviously not working. Will, can you real quick? Will, can you guarantee that Ben
Matt,
Johnson is going to be better than Kyle Shanahan?
Not only that, they're not letting him go. Like, what are we talking about? Plus, you guys got to think about something for a second. You like Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator. When you promote someone to head coach, there's extra responsibilities that come along with that, guys.
Exactly.
Like, we got to think logically for just a second.
Yes.
Now,
so let's walk through a practice, right? So Kyle Shanahan, head coach, right? Other than 11 on 11s, when is he overseeing everything that's happening on the field? He's not. He's walking around to the position coach linebackers. He's walking around to the defensive, backfield. He's walking over to the quarterback's coach. He's conferring with all of these guys. When Kyle's not looking, who's holding this team accountable and with their execution, with their discipline and everything else? Kyle's not going anywhere. So guess what's going to happen? Just like every other regime, everybody fails from the bottom up. Coordinators always go before the head coach goes. So get used to it, guys. Like, that's just the way that it is.
And to Matt's point here, guys, right? We have to understand a couple of things here. I will say this. I thought Kyle Shanahan got in his bag in the second half with the play calling. First half, I was a little like, what is he doing? What is he doing? And maybe it was just the setting up of plays for the second half because I wasn't happy. Second half, though, there was 2 drives where Pearsall himself took points off the board. Let's be honest. And then there was a missed field goal on the other one. So, I mean, let's not act like Kyle didn't dial things up. He didn't get things rolling and get the ball moving when we wanted him to. With that said, though, we keep talking about wanting to move on from Kyle. Has Kyle Shanahan not built up enough equity to say, hey, yeah, I had a bad year this year. Give me a chance to fucking fix it next year?
Right.
Does he not have that cachet here?
Zach and I have talked about the entitlement of 49ers fans when there's no reason to have that entitlement. Like, things come and go. Listen, how many years did Andy Reid get in Philadelphia before they let him go? And then he won a Super Bowl immediately somewhere else, right?
Right.
Like, how many years has Mike Tomlin been in Pittsburgh? And now they always seem to be, like, right there.
Just that one Super Bowl. They get to the postseason. They lose the first game, and then he goes home and signs another check.
But guess who's always guess who's always relevant? It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mm-hmm. And I would rather remain in relevancy than
Now, that doesn't. Now, I look at.
Observe natural evolution. He doesn't. He's not Andy Reid. Andy Reid wasn't Andy Reid before Patrick Mahomes. What did Andy Reid win before Patrick Mahomes? I'll wait.
Well, how long, like Matt said, was Andy Reid coaching in the NFL before he won anything, guys? Like, right. Why are we acting like this
Andy
is new?
Reid didn't win until like his 14th or 15th year as a head coach in the NFL with his second team.
I think people are very short-sighted, and it could come from the expectation that us as Niner fans have, but I don't know where this expectation set comes from over the last 30 years. We haven't won shit, guys. We haven't won anything in the last 30 years. Right now, Kyle Shanahan has done exactly, and I'm lying, he's done more than what Jim Harbaugh did. Right? Jim Harbaugh had the 3 NFC championship appearances with one Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan has been in 2 Super Bowls. So, I mean, all I'm saying is this, guys. I understand wanting and desiring the excellence, and I'll never fault anybody for that at all, right? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't move on from Kyle. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but you shouldn't just move on for the sake of moving on,
right?
Unless you identify Kyle as the problem, right? I'm not going to stay in a bad relationship with a woman that's hitting me or physically abusing me, because I'm afraid that my next girlfriend might be worse. You got to get out of that relationship. But I don't think that Kyle is the problem. A problem, sure.
Sure.
And can those things be tweaked?
No, it's not Kyle's A game. Of course. He has to go back to the board and try to figure things out. So,
and that's where I am.
The sole problem, come on, guys.
Right. If everything else was fine, and we could definitely say this is a Kyle Shanahan thing, then I would be with you guys.
I've gone over this before. Kyle Shanahan got hired 2 weeks before the NFL Combine. You ain't hitching your wagon to a quarterback that was viewed as a project in his draft class like Patrick Mahomes was. And by the way, everybody who was glazing, CJ Stroud last year, the same people that are saying that he's not that good this year. It's all just I still fuck with Stroud, but of course, listen, Brock Purdy is his second full year as a starter. He can't have a sophomore slump too or whatever. Again, this team should have credit in the bank. You don't give them time to adjust or anything like that.
That part,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think what Jesus is saying here by he doesn't want a Patrick. I don't think he meant Patrick Mahomes, the person. I think he means like a guy who operates outside of the confines of the offense. A guy that will say, "Hey, I hear what you're calling, but let me call my own plays." Like for this situation, I think that's what Jesus is saying. So
yeah,
I could be wrong, but Jesus, let me know if that's what you meant by that.
I didn't even put up Will's other comment because it's so ridiculous. But Kyle didn't want Pat because he thought he was going to get Kirk in 2018. That's not how the NFL works. You don't sit there in 2017 after the 2016 season and say, "Oh, I'm gonna get my quarterback after an entire full season and hope that I can get him in free agency." That's an absolutely ridiculous take.
I have a question for you, and I don't know the answer, so maybe I'm leading, but I am going somewhere with it, so I hope I'm right with what I'm about to ask you. When we traded for Jimmy Garoppolo, was Kirk Cousins already signed?
Yes.
Because that was also 2017. So I want to know if he had already signed his long-term deal at that point, or was there still hope? Because
no, I think he was. That was the second franchise tag from Washington.
So that was his last year at Washington. So he did hit free agency afterwards, right? So if Kyle thought, if what Will is saying is true, if what Will is saying is true, that Kyle didn't draft Mahomes because he thought he could get Cousins in 18, then why would he have traded for Jimmy? That doesn't make any sense then. Because then that means he thought his answer was available later.
Again, 2 weeks before the combine, you don't have any staff. You don't have any of your scouts. You're coming from a place in Atlanta where you had a franchise quarterback. So anybody that you would probably bring with you from your staff, are they looking at first-round quarterbacks? Probably not. And you're going to tell me that they're going to hitch their wagon to somebody where they don't exactly have enough time to really do a vetting process. I mean, look at what they did in 2021 with Trey Lance. That thing was thrown together haphazardly, and it went like shit.
Yeah.
So you want them to do they were at 15 and they were going to draft whoever was at 15, and then they traded up and they were like, we like one of three guys. And if you trade up not knowing exactly who you're going to pick, that's on you, man.
Yeah,
that's already a screw up. So you're telling me with a whole offseason and knowing you need a quarterback, you're going to trade up and make a mistake, but you want them on 2 weeks before the combine notice to take a quarterback? Like, come on,
and
man.
Let me tell you, if they traded the 4, they would have said we like one of 4 guys. Just so you guys know, like, recognize the bullshit when you see it. That's all I'm saying. Like, there was no chance in the world that they were like, oh, well, we like 3 guys, so we'll be happy with whichever one we get. I do want to say this though, right? Here's what I do want to see going forward from Kyle, because Kyle's not going anywhere.
Sure.
I need Kyle Shanahan to have the mental wherewithal to identify top 5, top 10 position coaches and bring them in. Enough of this elevating people from within, right? Have the balls to say, hey, you know what? Chris Kosaric, I thank you for your time here, but I feel like we should have gotten more out of our defensive linemen. Let me try this guy from this team. Hey, our wide receivers coach, I thank you and I appreciate you, but let's try this guy from over. It's time to start bringing in some guys with experience at their positions. A lateral move means you're going to have a team can block it, right? But maybe get creative with some of the titles that you give these guys, pay them more money. You got to start bringing in some veteran guys and stop just bumping people up that have been with you and under in your shadow and in your tail for the last 5 or 6 years. Like, it's time to get outside of your own comfort zone and bring in some guys with expertise. There are people out there in the NFL that don't want to be coordinators. Chris Kosaric is one of them. They offered him not once but twice, reportedly, that they asked him, do you want to be the DC? And he said, no, I like being the defensive line coach. Fine, cool. Go out there and find another guy like that and bring him in here. We got to shake this shit up, because doing the same thing and expecting different results is insane.
Yep. Kirk was on his last year in Washington. Kirk didn't sign with the Minnesota Vikings until the 2018 offseason. Jimmy was already in San Francisco at that point. They traded for Jimmy on October 30th, 2017. So that's not true. Again, a lot of these are fake. By the way, saying that was the excuse to draft Solly Thomas instead of CMC. Solomon Thomas got drafted by the 49ers because he was homies with John Lynch. And again, that's what happens when you don't have time to do your homework. They should have traded back out of that spot and given themselves time.
And keep in mind, they did trade back. Just to put that out there, they went from 2 to 3.
They did trade back.
Right?
Yes, they went from 2 to 3. They did trade back. That's for sure. So,
you know, I got just a little bit thing there. There are some changes that we can make in-house, guys, that don't require a massive overhaul with the head coach, with the offensive coordinator, and things like that. And you know, there's a part of me that feels like maybe Kyle can go out and get some of the guys that he can go out and get someone that can be a drop a bug in his ear, right? I think Kyle has learned to loosen the reins up a little bit. We saw for the first how many weeks where they were saying Kyle wasn't calling plays in this game. He wasn't calling plays in that game all preseason, right? It was like, oh, first game I let him call the plays, but next game I'm going to do it. And then after the game was over, hey Kyle, was that you calling plays? Nah, it still wasn't me. Third preseason game, nah, that still wasn't me, right? So it was a learning process for Kyle Shanahan to see if he trusts or if he likes what's going on out there.
Yeah,
That's growth to me, and I'm okay with growth, right? This may not have been the year that we wanted it to be, but as long as we're growing and we're going to learn from it, I'm okay with that. You don't ever get better if you never make a mistake. You just stay the same. That's content. So I don't want us to be content. I want us to have this bad year, and I want Kyle to have to step back and reflect, and then we'll see where he goes from here.
And by the way, not for nothing, but just about every Kyle Shanahan disciple, especially recently, is having an off year. They're having an off year with C.J. Stroud in Houston. That defense is really carrying the load for them at this point. You have Miami, Mike McDaniel. They're having a hard time today.
Same record going into this game, yeah.
Right, exactly. Green Bay has changed up a lot of their things with what LaFleur is doing, simply because you have a quarterback that's just so different than what that system calls for. And then Sean McVay I wouldn't even really call him as much a Kyle disciple as I would a Mike Shanahan disciple, because they were assistants together in Washington under Mike. So, they're a little bit different. But from the main Kyle Shanahan tree, I mean, Robert Saleh gets fired this year. Just a lot of it hasn't, done well. And that's happened, by the way, over the years, right? West Coast offense. Everybody started running the West Coast offense. Then guess what happens? Soon enough, people, adjust to it. Same thing with the Wildcat. Same thing with, in a certain respect, Patrick Mahomes, where Patrick Mahomes was beating everybody deep, and then everybody started running too high in quarters on Patrick Mahomes, and now he has to beat you with the underneath stuff. The league adjusts. And so you need to see what Kyle can do to counterpunch. I mean, the team was just in the Super Bowl last year. It's not like, he was never good at coaching or whatever. His offenses have always been seen as innovative and everything else, but sometimes the league catches up and it's an adjustment period. When you go into a league off a Super Bowl year, you don't try to fix what isn't broken, right? You got to the biggest game of the year. You didn't win it, but at the same time, you're not going to completely shelve your offense. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh, he sucks as a play caller. Oh, his offense sucks, this and that. Not accounting for the defensive adjustment. When people will sit here and tell you for 3 years, well, what happens if the league gets tape on Brock Purdy? He's not that good. Well, the same thing is true of an offense. The league has tape on Shanahan's offense. The league has tape on 6 different teams that run Shanahan's offense. So give him time in the offseason, because it's not going to happen in the middle of the season, for Kyle to adjust and see what happens next year.
Yeah. We got to do some heavy investing in the offensive line. We got to do some heavy investing in the defensive scheme. I would not be upset about a defensive scheme if I'm being a change. Yeah, a change at the scheme, right?
But I will does not work. It's too soft at the middle.
Yeah, I will say this though: the last 3 games, and including this game, I think the defense did enough to at least keep us in it. They didn't allow a touchdown in 2 full games, and then this game it took until the second half, I think, is when they got their first touchdown. So the Niners went 8 quarters without allowing a touchdown, and like, what do we have to show for it? We had shit to show for it. You know what I'm saying? So the offense also is not perfect, right? But if we're gonna look at everything in the grand scheme, Purdy isn't perfect. Like Matt said to start the show, he's gonna get the bag. Right? He's not perfect. Yeah. He's going to get back, because the market is the market. Just like everybody was saying, oh, Brandon Ayuk isn't worth X amount of dollars. It didn't matter. It never mattered. The market sets the price for these guys. You're either going to pay him or you're not. There's no in between, because Purdy's agent isn't going to take a 2 or 3 year deal.
Right.
He's going to say, "This, I need longevity here. This is Mr. Irrelevant. I got to make it all that it can be." Right? You're going to have to come up with some very nice nomenclature and language in that contract to build yourself an out after a couple of years. But this is what it's going to average a year.
I do think that the compromise will come in length of contract rather than dollar
Bingo.
amount. And if you're too focused on AAV, you're not doing it right. I mean, plenty of teams are good with expensive quarterbacks. That whole, like, once you pay your quarterback, you don't win, is just simply not true. I mean, high-paid quarterbacks
Chiefs
win all the time. Kansas City, right? Philadelphia's good this year. Buffalo's good this
Bills.
year. Baltimore's good this year.
Wait now. What they're going to tell you, what their counter is going to be to that is how many win Super Bowls, because that's the goal. None of those teams are winning Super Bowls except one. None of them.
Sure. Sure.
I'm telling you what they're going to say in the chat.
know.
They're going to
I
counter
know.
with that. So
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
And I'll counter. Listen, here's what I'll counter with. Let's see. Patrick Mahomes won the last 2, and then before that, it was Tom Brady, who with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wasn't one of the highest, but he was a paid quarterback. It's not like he was on a rookie deal. Let's see. Before that, the Rams with Matthew Stafford, one of the highest paid. Patrick Mahomes. Tom Brady again. Then you have Philadelphia, who had Carson Wentz on a rookie deal. So there's one. Then it was Tom Brady. Then it was Peyton Manning. And then it was Tom Brady. And then it was Russell Wilson, who was on a rookie deal. I mean, you got to go back to 2013.
You just did 2 out of 10, 15? Like that's fucking crazy.
Right.
Like the anomaly is doing it on the rookie deal.
The people that say, you need to win with a quarterback on a rookie deal, it's just not true. And I don't know where the fuck they got that. But it's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I know we're not going to focus a lot on Brock Purdy. Let me just go ahead and get this.
No. There's no point. They're really going to pay him. Now, whether it's a 5-year deal or a 3-year deal, like that's where I think we come into play with different things. But,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Like, do you think that Brock Purdy would take a 3-year fully guaranteed contract? Forget dollar amount for a second. Do you think he takes a Kirk Cousins type deal with the Vikings?
That would be where you would go with that. Because AAV really doesn't matter. The guaranteed money is what actually matters.
All right. So Cousins signed, I believe it was 3 years, like 86 million or something like that.
83 or something like
83. That. It was in the 80s. You think Brock will sign 3 years, 92 million a year?
I
mean, not a year. I'm sorry. 3 years, 92 million total.
No, I think he would do it would be more in line with like 3/120 because the landscape has changed. 2018.
So you want 40 million a year? Okay.
Like he would ask for 40 million a year, but 40 million a year in guarantees, is that worth more than Brock Purdy than 50 million a year with team outs? That's the question that you got to ask.
Right. It's all in the language again. That's
again. It's all in the language, and we know that that's going to be a thing. So,
okay.
Yeah.
What changes would you like to see the Niners make in this
offensive line? If they don't draft an offensive tackle with their first round pick, then they're not doing it right. Trent Williams might fucking retire. And
why isn't he playing? He's not even around the team.
When it was last week. We didn't get to do a recap show. It was the Thursday night game. But it was a Thursday night game the last time they played, right? Against the Rams?
Yes. Yeah.
They showed Trent Williams up in a suite, and he had the little roller thing with him. Like, he's not playing again this year. I'm telling you that right now, he's not going to play.
Here's what I don't understand, Matt. This guy went from a game time decision to being on a rolling knee scooter for the next 3 consecutive weeks. What the fuck happened? Was there a setback? Was there an injury that we don't know about that happened like in practice or warm-ups or something? Like where did the severity of this injury went in the opposite direction that it should have?
Well, the 49ers, I think, also obfuscate a little bit with some of their injuries. They said that CMC was a game time decision. He missed half the season. So, that's we have precedent.
Talk your shit, Matt.
So I trust their injury reports as far as I can throw them. You know what I mean? But Trent Williams might retire. Why do you think he got his upfront money?
Okay.
Okay. And if he doesn't retire, he's clearly in decline. And that's not even addressing the other elephant in the room. I am tired of seeing Colt McKivitz get dog walked. Again, it happened today on the tip pass that would have gone to George Kittle in the end zone for a wide open walk-in touchdown. Colt McKivitz got dog walked by Chop Robinson right into Brock Purdy. And Brock Purdy is not big enough that you can dog walk people into his face and have him make accurate throws. That's a limitation of Brock Purdy, but that's one that once they pay him, they're going to have to deal with. Ironically enough, I think it was Justin Herbert has the most tip passes in the NFL, by the way, and he's 6'6".
Yeah, Brock Purdy is 4th on that list per the broadcast. I tried looking up the stat and I couldn't find it anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know
I mean,
where they got that from.
I don't know. But secondarily to that, so first round pick, I think you have to pick offensive tackle. Second or third round, one of those two needs to be spent on a center. Or you find a veteran one that's good in the offseason. My only problem with that is they tried that with Weston Richburg, and they tried that with the other guy that
Okay,
Alex Mack, who was good,
so,
but then retired, and now you're stuck with Jake Brendel, who came from I think he was from the AFL or whatever, right? Or like the was he from the XFL? He was in one of the, or maybe the USFL. He was within one of those other shitty leagues, but he's clearly trash. There was a still photo of him watching Brock Purdy scramble around, and he literally was just watching the play,
just standing there. Oh, there's a whole cut up. As a matter of fact, if you guys follow John Chapman on X.com, Chapman posts probably every other week or so, like just little clips of Brendel just standing around for 3 minutes straight. Like it's different plays where he snaps the ball, his guy is out of the play, and he just stands around and just watches. Like he does this every other week, every 3 weeks or so. It's pretty bad. But I want to ask you this question: Why didn't the Niners address the offensive line, and who's to blame for that? Like, is that arrogance by Kyle Shanahan?
Kyle is to blame. Kyle is 100% to blame for that because he was the one that was like, offensive linemen don't score touchdowns. He literally said, that's a quote from him. And
then he said it so much that Chris Forrester believed it.
Right.
And
Kyle is not going D-line for if he goes D-line first round, then I'm going to call for Kyle's job.
If Kyle
neglect the offensive line.
Here we go.
How many times have they drafted an offensive lineman in the first or defensive lineman in the first and second round? Bosa,
almost every year.
Good.
Almost
Thomas, who's shit. They spent a second round pick on D Ford, who didn't pan out. They've signed Leonard Floyd.
Aaron Banks was a second round pick.
Aaron Banks was offensive line. Drake Jackson, second round pick. You guys forgot.
You said defensive lineman. My bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah, You've spent so much capital.
Drake Jackson was a third round pick, but he was our first pick that draft.
No. He was a second round pick.
No way. No, he wasn't.
Yeah, Drake Jackson was a second round pick, my man.
He was picked 99. That's not the second.
No, that was Jake Moody was picked 99. Jake Moody was the first pick that draft. Drake Jackson was the year before.
Jake Moody was not the first pick. Stop it.
Yes, he was.
Drake Jackson.
Stop. Drake Jackson was the year before, my man.
Hold on. No fucking way.
Yeah.
No way. All right. Drake Jackson was drafted. Holy shit, he was a second round pick.
I told you, my brother. I've been on.
He was pick 61.
Yep. I'm on team no drafting D-line for a while now because you've thrown enough eggs into that basket where if you can't get it right, you're not going to get it right.
Which tells me that we need to move on from Chris Kosaric because we're giving him all the fucking opportunities in the world and he's not getting anything done with it.
Nobody has done less with more than Chris Kosaric.
And that's why I am on the exact opposite train as you when it comes to Chris Forrester. Because Chris Forrester has had to make really good meals out of shit and dirt. They won't give this guy any help at all. They won't invest in the offensive line for the 49ers, and I can't blame Forrester if he's not giving any ingredients to make a meal out of.
Sid Brown, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says, it's not Kyle the play caller that's the problem, it's Kyle the personnel exec that's the problem with the 49ers, and I absolutely agree. Someone needs to sit him down and be like, dude, you're not picking no more.
I like that comment right
He's
there.
He's been tied to CJ Beathard. He's been tied to C.J. Beathard. He's been tied to Joe Williams. He's been tied to, any number of other guys where you just
Hoyer.
like, yeah, this guy, yep. Well, Hoyer was a free agent.
Dante Pettis.
I mean, yeah, personnel exec. I mean, I guess it all falls within there. Yeah, it's like, this guy is a guy that can do this. This guy is a guy that can do that.
Dante Pettis, Trent Taylor.
Right. It's it's the same thing. It's like Aaron Rodgers syndrome, right? Why is Alan Lazard on every team that you're on, dude? Like that dude sucks.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree.
I mean,
good comment.
Listen,
there, Sid.
We're getting to the point. Deebo Samuel. We need. You know what I mean? Deebo Samuel's going to hang around too long. So, I would start with offensive line. Absolutely. After that, I mean, you can go any number of directions. I'm not too. Honestly, actually, after I don't know. Did you see the thing with Garrett Wilson on Instagram?
No. What happened?
Oh, he basically said, like, I don't know why they don't want me to, like, catch passes out here. Like, I'm trying to be involved, but, they clearly, basically saying that he wants out of New York. Dude, I would send Deebo Samuel for him yesterday.
I would take that in a straight up trade. Absolutely.
Yeah. Garrett Wilson's good.
And he's still on a rookie deal. I would still pay him too. Yeah. I would pay him. I would pay him. Garrett Wilson is good.
Yep.
Garrett Wilson
So I think linebacker needs a lot of attention because let me be honest, Dre Greenlaw left after one series with a calf injury. So you're
I
talking
will say
about a
this
guy
though.
that's.
I think Greenlaw needs to return. Hear me out.
No, I think he does too, and I think he's going to be cheaper because he keeps getting injured. But you can't put all your eggs in that basket.
Oh no, I would bring in Dre Greenlaw, and I'm definitely drafting a linebacker in the first 4 rounds, like 4, 5, or 6. I'm definitely getting another linebacker for sure.
Now I do want to say I don't think that D. Winters has been terrible this season.
No, in fact, I applauded him a couple times this game alone.
Yeah. It's what they need from their linebackers is not somebody like Devondre Campbell who has a name but is doesn't have the energy. You want those energy guys because remember, I think Dre Greenlaw was what a 5th or 6th round pick.
Yeah, he was late. Greenlaw was a late guy also.
They've shown that they can find linebackers late. That's the thing
for sure.
I mean, even all pro Fred 3rd round pick.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
and not for nothing.
That's the one area of the team, which is why the Campbell miss is such a head scratcher because traditionally this regime has been excellent at finding linebackers. Aziz Al-Shire,
they've been excellent in the draft. It's not the free agent linebackers that they bring in.
Right.
Every free agent linebacker they've brought in has been a liability at some point. You look at Campbell. You look at what's my man's name, Alexander. Like these guys have been liabilities in the long run. Fuck looking at these guys. Go out there and get your guy and bring him up here. You know what I'm saying? Let my man Holland go out there and do what he's supposed to do with these guys and coach him up the right way.
Yep. Ironically enough, it's their only 1st round pick at linebacker that didn't work out, and that was more off the field stuff than anything else.
And they should have. They should have known.
Yeah. Reuben Foster was like clearly red flag guy, but I think they were just too enticed by being able to get him at the end of the 1st round with the
talent was so high
out of Alabama. Right.
Yeah, the talent was there. It was just the other shit that was a problem. But I will say this: our linebackers really need the defensive linemen to do their jobs the right way. The defensive linemen are so bad that they're costing these really good linebackers health and opportunities. I'm not even exaggerating. Like they fuck up so much, they change gaps, they change holes, which changes responsibilities on the second level, on the next level.
Did you see that Jake Brendel called out the wrong protection and then forgot the fucking snap count?
Where it was a false start on everyone except the center.
Except for him because he forgot to snap the fucking ball. Oh shit! I gotta snap the ball. So, okay, I want to make a prediction here just because I've seen it a couple times in the chat. I think Ricky Pearsall's a dude. I think he's going to be a lot better next year, and you guys are going to be surprised.
Yeah, I see a lot of people throwing shots at Pearsall. Nothing that we're seeing from him is his fault.
Right.
This guy has been asked to line up in all 3 different
shot. Well, let's just start with getting shot. I mean, that's that's probably, other than actually dying, the worst way that you could start off your fucking, you know what I mean?
NFL career. Yeah. Hey, welcome to the NFL. Pow.
Yeah. I mean, and then beyond that, so you're talking about a guy that got no fucking training camp, no preseason, missed the first 4 games of the season, and is out there only because, of injuries to people like Brandon Ayuk and ineffectiveness across the board from Chris Conley and veterans that are supposed to be like these guys. I think Pearsall next year, it's not like a Dante Pettis thing where I think that Pearsall is soft. Pearsall plays hard. He's just making mistakes, and you expect that out of rookies. So I think, by the way, he doesn't drop passes. No pass that's been catchable has he actually dropped this season.
And the mistakes that he's making are pre-snap. I'll take that all day, every day, because those are correctable in just one off season. Those are correctable with just a couple more practices, right? Line me up at the X, Y, or wherever you're going to put me. Let me learn my shit, and then I'll be absolutely fine. Right? They move him around. Fucking Tony Romo was saying it all night tonight. This is a guy who didn't get a lot of practice, and they move him all over the place, and he keeps forgetting to look over to the ref and say, "Hey, am I good right here?" Yeah. That's what he's fucking. That's where his only mistake is. That's it. Is it happening often? Yes. That's an easily correctable mistake. I'm not out on Pearsall just yet.
No. And again, if you're out on a 1st round pick after 1 season that started off getting shot and missing that'd be like being out on a player that was injured and came back and didn't know the play. I mean, especially one as complicated, apparently, as Kyle Shanahan's. You expect him to know everything right off the bat. We saw it from game 1, by the way, where there was, I think it was don't know if it was Conley or no, it was Ronnie Bell when he was still here, where Ronnie Bell actually had like a false start or an illegal motion because he was like trying to get Pearsall in the right spot and stepped up to the line and tried to have him go back, and they snapped the ball.
Right, because one guy has to be, so they were like arguing
have to
about
be offset because you can't, So, I guess it starts there. Where would you start with the picks? Where do you think the 49ers have the biggest area of need? Where would you start? First round pick come April. Looks like it's going to be a top 12 pick. Where would you like them to go?
I'm going to give you guys a position that no one's probably going to say right now, but I would go corner. I think this is Ward's last year here. He is a liability. I don't care what anybody says. I'm sorry for the trauma that he's gone through this past season and all that, but Charvarius Ward is a liability on the field. And I think if we can fix that, here's my logic behind it, right? There's enough talent on the defensive line where if we get anybody in there, we should be okay. I respect, and I know this is where our opinions are going to differ here, Matt. I respect Chris Forrester's ability to coach up linemen a lot more than I expect any coaching from the secondary coaches or anybody on the defensive side of the ball. So I think that Forrester can do more with a second round or a third round offensive lineman than what other coaches can do with a first round or a later round guy. So give me the first round, more talented guy in the secondary. I think that's going to pose a bigger need. We have the best defensive end in the entire NFL in Nick Bosa. We have the best linebacker in the entire NFL in Fred Warner. Give me another really, really good guy in the secondary at the corner position, opposite of Diamador Lenore, who we just locked down, which, by the way, I love. I absolutely love Diamador Lenore. But give me that guy and then go other places. I'm going corner in the first round for the 49ers, and then I'll go other places.
I guess my argument against that would simply be Aaron Banks, who they drafted in the second round. Who looks he's going to wash out.
Yeah,
again, the argument
not a
against
good year.
But then again, the argument to that is that Dominic Pooney in the third round looks like a win. So, if the 49ers kept Chris Forster, would I be mad? No. But I think Coach Kocurek has outlasted his usefulness here, and he needs to go.
Kocurek. I think Kocurek is done. And they're not going to get rid of him, by the way. We're saying this, but he's going to be back next year. They're not going to get rid of him, even though we think we should.
Exactly.
We think we should.
Bouse the Gamer, $10 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend. He says, I'm pretty sure center Drew Dahlman from Atlanta is a free agent and draft a tackle first round. So I would also move on from Deebo and get bigger in the interior of the D-line. Deebo's going to be hard to get out from under unless I think a post-June 1st trade is probably the best option. I'd have to look at it.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
If the Niners did not move on from Deebo, I wouldn't be upset. I honestly, I'm
kind of resigned that they won't, but go ahead and explain where you're at.
Here's my logic with it, right? I think Deebo is a guy that can be what we saw tonight from Deebo was the top of the top. I don't think that's normal for him. I think that Deebo exceeded expectations from him in the game. He didn't have the craziest of stats or anything like that, right? But that was Deebo without a route runner demanding double coverage. That was Deebo without CMC demanding double coverage from the running back position. Now you insert Deebo with the George Kittle that we saw tonight, and all of a sudden he's a really, really good weapon, right? The Niners are building an entire machine with all their pieces. It's not just this guy and the quarterback, right? It's all of these pieces equaling one big puzzle. And I think Deebo is and can be special when you incorporate all of those pieces. Next year, knock on wood, we should have CMC back. Knock on wood, we should have Ayuk back. And knock on wood, George Kittle survives the rest of the season and can come back and give us one more really good year on offense, right? If that happens, all of a sudden, Deebo is the mismatch guy. He is the guy that makes offenses say, oh, shit, we got to watch him because he never goes down from first contact. So I wouldn't be mad if they kept him another year. That's where I am on Deebo. I think tonight showed a little bit of what makes him special because this is the first time we've seen this version of Deebo since pre-McCaffrey.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's tough. I guess if you get this a couple times a year out of Deebo, it's less the player and it's more the player and the contract, because that contract is kind of an albatross given what you're getting out of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I think they need to. If I were them, I would try to either restructure that deal or potentially move on. I'm sure they're probably not going to. I do think they need to extend George Kittle. He's 30 and he plays hard, and he's going to decline at some point. But dude's like 33 yards short from another 1,000-yard season. So like he's still balling as a tight end.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really fault them for that. They need to. And by the way, never once, even when I was like, hey, George Kittle, George Kittle, not going to live up to that contract. I don't know. I kind of feel like he kind of has lived up to that contract a little bit. You know what I mean? Like in retrospect, especially this year. And the one thing that you can count on from George Kittle is that he will put in max effort at all times. Like that dude doesn't know how to not put in max effort. So like I respect the shit out of that. And like for me, I'm at the point now where I was so wrong on Kittle that I think they should re-sign him. And even if he's a little bit washed or whatever down the road, just keep him a 49er for his whole career, because he like epitomizes what you and I think about when we talk about 49ers football. It's getting down and dirty, being gritty, max effort at all times. And sometimes it's the grind that gets the results rather than the pretty stuff, So I would much rather have players like George Kittle than players like who are going to quit, like a Devondre Campbell or, some of these other players, and I'm not saying that Deebo's quitting or anything like that. That has nothing to do with Deebo. I'm strictly talking about George Kittle at this point. So before anybody takes it the other way.
Kittle is someone that I am proud wears the SF on his helmet. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I think Kittle should be here for his entire career. He should never wear another team's jersey. So I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean he lived up to that contract? Well, but I'm happy that he's here. So yeah. I want Kittle to stay.
Hello. Hold on a second. Go ahead and talk at him for a second.
Yeah, I got you. So, when we're talking about George Kittle and his production, hi. He wants me to talk, and I can't. Oh man, I love babies. All right, so we're talking about Kittle and his production and all. Like, and the thing is,
ball. We're talking
George
ball.
Kittle went out there and absolutely did his thing tonight. 0 touchdowns or anything like that, but was effective and efficient. Every opportunity that he had, he took advantage of it. He had an amazing catch with someone on his back. He wore this guy like a cape. He wore him like a cape, right? Like, what else do you want to see from a guy like George Kittle? Like, and again, this is a guy that's aging out of the NFL, right? He's getting old in NFL years, and I think he's got plenty left in the tank. He's 4 years younger than Travis Kelce, 5 years younger than Travis Kelce, something like that. Like, he's got plenty left to give in the tank. And imagine if we got more reliable offensive linemen and he doesn't have to go in there and block every fucking play or every other play where he's not running a route, right? Like, then all of a sudden you can get more offensive production out of a guy like that. So, I think Kittle definitely has earned his contract. Yeah.
For sure. And, again, those are the players that we want. Those are, again, when they talk about gold helmet guys in the draft, that's George Kittle. That's the guy that from top to the bottom, he's always going to play. It's, it's wild, man. I don't know. This season is just it feels like there's so much to do. You know what I mean? That it's almost impossible. And I think a lot of that goes back to just drafting poorly in the first round. Draft capital. That Trey Lance trade was very detrimental to the team's depth going forward. If this year pans out like we think it's going to pan out, that'll ease some of the load going forward. But they have to have another home run draft this year. Yeah. I don't even think it's a question. And they're going to have to, be a little bit, I guess, inventive in terms of free agency. You're not going to get top dollar guys, but you're going to have to figure out, where you can get guys. So,
are you out on Bosa? I saw that comment you just clicked. What do you think about Bosa this year? And I want you to be honest. Like, isolate Bosa and his production or lack of or whatever. And I'll be honest, I don't even know if he's getting double teamed as much as we think or thought he would be. What are your thoughts on Bosa this season?
I think the performance is a little bit down, but also we got to remember that he's been playing injured the entire season too. So he's had that hip injury since like week 3. So, again, I don't think that it's an effort issue with Bosa. Just Bosa's not going to be, George Kittle is the guy that's like super outgoing and like, out front and really loud. Same thing, Dre Greenlaw, really out front, really loud. Even Fred Warner, to a certain extent, has become more vocal. He's got a podcast now and does all this stuff. Nick Bosa, if he's not at the podium, you don't hear shit from him. He doesn't say nothing to nobody. He's very quiet, but like goes about his business. So I don't know. Again, this is such a weird season that I wouldn't want to judge somebody based off of that. But like last year, we thought Bosa wasn't doing anything, and he finished with double-digit sacks, right? Like the year after, when he got paid, everybody's like, oh, he's not doing nothing. And I think he finished with like 10 and a half sacks or whatever, after missing the entirety of training camp and all that stuff. So I don't know. Because you look at the loss of Javon Hargrave, you look at some of the rotation at the defensive end spot, at the defensive tackle spot. I mean, how many defensive tackles have we gone through this season? It feels like a lot. You got lackluster linebacker play behind you. Again, I don't think the wide nine is the best in terms of pure pass rush. That whole all gas, no brakes thing, that doesn't work. This defensive scheme is tired. They need to flip it up, and I don't know. They need to do something different because it's not working. I think that his biggest weakness is probably run defense. But again, you're asking a defensive end to like really just go after the quarterback. And if you're asking him to go after the quarterback, then he's going to, bite on some of those option fakes and he's going to over pursue at times. So I don't think that he's as far behind, the top tier as some people would have you believe, even so far as this year. But I would say his production's a little bit down, and he could probably stand to get better. And again, if you get somebody other than Coach Kasurek, whose voice is probably like the lady from the Peanuts, womp, womp, womp at this point, then maybe you'll get some more effort, not effort, but more results, I should say.
Yeah, I think that players are also aware that when their position coach gets axed, like they're the ones that are next to the chopping block, and it could ignite something. So that's why I kind of want to see the Niners move on from Kasurek. I think Robert Saleh would kill for the defensive line the 49ers have right now. I really do. Yeah. I really, really do. Now, Malik Collins wasn't playing in there today. You know what I mean? Like, there's some injuries that are happening across the line, but you still got Floyd out there. And Floyd, by the way, man, I do want to give him a round of applause. I know it's like, like Mike, what are you doing? It's not about what he did out there tonight. It's about the fight. It's about turning up and fighting through it all. He went out with a little ding, a little injury, and he fought his way through and still wanted to go back out there. This is a long-time NFL veteran, a well-respected guy with double-digit sacks almost every single season, right? Forget the production for a second.
He's got 8.5 right now.
Right. He's old as fuck in NFL years.
Yeah, 32, yeah.
In NFL years, right?
NFL years.
But this guy fights through it. He could have easily packed it up for the rest of this game and said, "No, I don't want to go back out there." He came back just a series and a half later, right? Like this guy is like fighting through it and wanting to show. Him and Chris Conley are my offensive and defensive MVPs as far as mentality goes. These guys are really showing like, hey, I may not be the big name, the household name on this team on my side of the ball, but I'm going to go out there and give it my best, and I'm going to show these young bucks how us veterans do it, what the expectation and what the standard is. So I wanted to give a round of applause to him and Chris Conley. I think they really went out there and did their thing.
Yeah. Peachy said maybe Deebo's getting his win back from having pneumonia. Listen, I'm in the hospital. A 28-year-old pneumonia, he should have had his win back like 2 months ago. He had pneumonia in week 3. Like, that's like saying...
That's not when he had pneumonia, is it?
Yeah, it was like week 3,
later than week 3?
No, it was like week 3.
Really?
Let's look it up.
I feel like that shit was like 3 weeks ago. All right, it probably wasn't 3 weeks ago. I'm thinking about if I go back a couple of 6 weeks ago. 6 tops.
Over 8 weeks ago.
Yeah?
October 21st. October 21st. It's December.
21, 28.
It's 2 months, 2 full months.
11.
He should have been.
Okay.
This is like people saying Fred Warner is playing with a broken foot or a broken bone in his ankle. No, he's not. Like, bones take 6 to 8 weeks to heal. The bone's healed. Josh Allen broke his non-throwing hand in week 1 or whatever. No, his hand is fine.
Okay.
Like, At a certain point, that can't be used as an excuse. If you were 65 and you had pneumonia, you're probably still trying to get your win.
And
if you 28 and probably getting pneumonia from, never mind.
Well, so Peachy, like, you know, Deebo's always been the guy since week one, his first year here, right? You got a big 30, 40-yard play, sideline, take a breather, come back in here. Conditioning has always been an issue for Deebo.
Conditioning's always been an issue with Deebo. Yeah. And like I said, and I know this is probably not directed at me, but like Deebo never quit on the team like Campbell. It's not a quitting on the team thing with Deebo.
No. Now, I do have a question about Deebo.
There's a little bit of immaturity, and I think his professionalism and the way that he approaches could be improved. But that doesn't mean that, like, when he's on the field playing games that he's not. It's akin to Allen Iverson, right? Allen Iverson never gave you 100% in practice. But in the games that mattered, like, he would go out there and give you everything. I think in the games that Deebo tries to give you everything. It's just that if you approached it a little bit differently, or he approached it a little bit differently and a little bit more manic and a little more, you know, with purpose, right? That he would have better results. You know, same thing with somebody like Zion Williamson. Same thing with somebody like Kyler Murray. The joke about Kyler Murray every time they lose is, oh, he must have been playing too much Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Like, it's stuff like that. You know, don't give them an excuse to question the way that you approach the game. And that's not the case with Deebo.
How did you watch the game tonight, Matt?
I was watching as a passenger in the car on my phone.
God dang it!
We were coming back.
You didn't watch it on TV.
I watched like the fourth quarter on TV. Yeah.
Oh, did you see Deebo on your TV?
Did I see?
I have
Deebo
a very specific question. Yeah, I watched Deebo.
Which part of Deebo? Which part of Deebo? The part that sticks out the furthest, because that's his stomach. I saw that for sure.
No, not. That's not what I'm asking. I saw these like things on Deebo's teeth. Does he have diamonds on his teeth? Are they Invisalign bracelet? Like what the hell is on his teeth? And I care about what this is. I want to know what this is.
I don't know if it would have been Invisalign, because like my wife has Invisalign right now, and unless I'm specifically looking for it, like I can't see it.
Are there bumps? Is it like certain like things like?
Yes, there is stuff on the
tooth?
There is stuff on the front. Yeah, but they're usually like transparent as well.
So, and in hip hop, they sometimes do this thing where like they put like diamonds in the teeth. Like they take a diamond, a real diamond, and drill and like insert it onto the tooth.
That seems hella silly to me.
Right, instead of getting fronts. And I saw Deebo. My wife bought me a new TV for Christmas. It's here. Okay. It's an 85-inch TV.
Hey.
And so I'm watching on like this whole like big screen 4K, 8K TV, and I'm like, what the hell is that on Deebo's teeth? And I want someone out there to tell me what it is. I want to know if Deebo got diamonds in his teeth, or is it something for straightening? I want to know what it is. And so I'm looking for someone to tell me.
Yeah.
Yo, you are so far back in the chat. Great one.
I know.
I have said for a long time now that I am.
Mike's been kind of off on Purdy for a little bit now.
Ain't no kind of anymore. I'm out on Purdy. I didn't want to get to it in this show, but
you got to get to what you got to get to.
When I say I'm out, I don't think Purdy is the franchise answer. I think we can win games with Purdy. I think that we can be successful with Purdy. I don't know that we are going to win a Super Bowl with Brock Purdy.
Listen, I'm not out like I'm out on Jake Moody. Jake Moody needs to be cut like yesterday. Right? Like,
right. Yeah, no, that's different.
Jake Moody sucks. Yeah. He's got to go. I think that that Purdy's going to get paid. They're going to pay him. However, I think that it's very clear that Purdy has physical limitations, that he's not. I've said he's right around a 12 to 15 best quarterback in the NFL.
Right.
12 to 15. And I mean, that again, I guess that would put me with you, where that you can win games with that. You might even be able to win a Super Bowl with that, but you're never going to confuse him with the best of the best of the best.
Here's what I'll say about Purdy. And this is definitive, and this I am going to stand on until I'm proven otherwise. Any top 5 defense, we are not going to win a game with Purdy under center. Any top 5 defense we are going to lose against with Purdy. I stand on that. I am completely in on that all the way, unless they are barred with injuries, right? So check this out, right? I think the Niners are going to win next week. I know we're not there. I know this isn't that show or anything like that. And you guys let me know when we're going to do a preview. But the Lions have so many injuries that they have to go back to basics, right? When a guy goes in motion, they have to commit a player to shadow that guy and follow him in motion. That's when Kyle Shanahan thrives. That's when he takes advantage of the opposing team. I think that's what the Lions are right now. And I think we take advantage of it. I think we go out there and we get that win. In a normal situation where they can take those gambles, I don't think that happens.
I think the Lions beat us by 3 touchdowns, but that's just me.
We'll talk. We're going to bet some wings on it, bro.
Sid Brown.
When I'm in Arizona, you're either sending me some wings or I'm sending you some wings. All right.
Facts.
All right.
Personnel stuff ended the Shanahans in DC and Denver. That's a good point. Sid's been on fire. And Sid Brown got some good comments. Yeah, but some of the stuff Denver was tough because John Elway retired, and that's just hard when you go for a Hall of Fame quarterback too. I think who was the one that replaced him? Was it Jake Plummer?
God.
I mean, I don't know. I can't even remember back that far. It was a long time ago. But DC was a little bit different because Daniel Snyder was such a meddler. So I think you got to kind of take a little bit of that, right? Because if they hadn't drafted Robert Griffin, which the whole thing was Shanahan wanted Kirk Cousins for the beginning. If you maybe get somebody else in that draft instead of trading up to get, Robert Griffin, then maybe it's a little bit different. So,
do you see 49ers Times comment right there? He said Lions 103, 49ers 3. Bro, leave the chat. Just get the hell out of here. Honestly, I don't know the last time an NFL football team let up 100 points. That's funny. All right, Matt, guess the year.
Will, yeah, that was good. What? Guess the year what?
The last time an NFL team gave up 100 points.
Gave up 100? No, never.
No, I believe it's happened before.
No, 72 is the NFL all-time record for scoring. The Dolphins tied it last year, and
that's right.
The Bears beat Washington, I think 72-0 back in 1963.
I didn't mean NFL. I didn't mean it was before the merger, but I wanted to know before the merger. But you're absolutely right.
Before the merger, I couldn't even tell you. Before the merger, football doesn't even. I don't even give a fuck about that. But it's probably a college game, right?
All right. How about this? Since the merger, total 100 points
in a game.
Yep.
Wasn't that well, shit.
2004 is the year.
Wait.
No, 2018.
Wait. Wasn't there a over 50? Wasn't there like a 54-52 game? Something like that. It was like a Sunday night game or a Monday night game.
54-51.
It was Chiefs and somebody else.
It was Monday night. Yeah, there you go. It was Chiefs and the Rams, 2018.
Yeah,
105 points. There you go. Yeah. Look at you, man. Good shit, man.
Yeah,
let's go, man. I remember that there was a Cowboys and Broncos game. It was probably around that time. It was earlier than that because Peyton Manning. It was Tony Romo and Peyton Manning.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it was like high 40s, the high 40s, or high 50s, or low 50s, the high 40s, something like that. That was I gotta find it, but that was another one there. That was a game that it was like, oh man, Peyton Manning lost this game. I remember because I think the Cowboys won that game, and I was like, no, that's bullshit because it wasn't Peyton Manning's fault. You know what I'm saying? Like it was the defense. Like you don't put up 40 plus points and lose a game and blame your offense. Like fuck out of here.
Yeah, that's like saying the Andrew Luck where. It was Indianapolis versus Kansas City, and I think it was Andrew Luck was up by a ton of points or whatever, or Kansas City was up by a ton of points. One of them came back on the other one, and then that's not the other quarterback's fault. Like they scored 40 points in the game. Now this is Jaguayo 56. I do want to say that one of my things is that I think it's hard for me to be out on Purdy because of how many issues they've had between wide receiver injuries, between a bad offensive line. Some of the stuff, though, is absolutely on Purdy. Purdy has shown poor decision-making this year, and he's shown a willingness to pat the ball a lot more this year. His time to throw has increased. Some of that could be wide receiver separation issues, but he's not blame-free. Literally nobody on this team is blame-free this year.
Matt, that last interception, you know that was on Purdy, right?
I need to see the all 22.
No, the fuck you don't.
I need to see the all 22.
Stop it. The Niners were fresh out of the 2-minute warning.
Sure.
It was first down.
Sure.
And I don't care if the entire defensive line came at you unblocked. You got 3 fucking timeouts, and it's a game-winning drive. Take the sack, and you live to fight another day. I don't care if they all 4 of them came unblocked. You take the sack, and you live to fight another down. We had all 3 timeouts. There is no need to force a throw. I don't care what happened anywhere on that offensive line.
But hold on.
Matt,
but until
Matt,
no. Hold on.
Let me just finish the sentence.
Go ahead.
That's situational awareness. That's all I'm going to say. That's situational awareness.
But you can't say that until you see the angle that Purdy saw. Like all 22 is going to show where he was throwing that ball or where the intent was to throw that ball because if Juwan Jennings is going to clear the person that intercepted the ball like he has before on a layered throw and he has a clean pocket, then maybe that throw gets to Juwan Jennings.
Matt, it doesn't matter.
It does if it's an anticipatory throw against zone. That absolutely does matter.
I'm going to tell you why it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
If you don't know for a fact that ball is going to get there, you take the sack, bro. You just take the sack. Take the sack.
Okay,
wait, hear me out. Because it was within the final 2 minutes, it's 4-down territory. We had to get in the end zone. A field goal doesn't work. We're down by 4. A field goal doesn't work. We have to get in the end zone, and we had all 3 timeouts. You have to live the fight another day. There's no scenario where you put that ball in harm's way. It doesn't exist. There's nothing you can tell me that's going to change my mind on that. I don't care who he thought was running where. I don't care how many people were in his face. And when he released the ball, he wasn't hit yet. He threw the ball and then got hit as he was releasing the ball. That's on Purdy, Matt.
That's not true. 100% it's not true. 100% that's not true.
I can pull the play up.
I have the still screen right in front of me.
Please show the I guarantee you his hand is here and he's releasing that ball when contact is made. And even if it's not, you take the fucking sack, bro. Like that's on Purdy. Yes,
what are you talking about?
We got all 3 timeouts, Matt, and it's a must-win situation.
Come on, brother. Come on. You're tripping now. You want somebody with 9 1/4-inch hands to try to pull that ball back when he's already all the way almost through the throwing motion.
No, if you see the guy coming at you, just tuck that shit and take the sack, bro. Is what I'm telling you.
Oh my Lord.
That's what I am not opposed to taking a sack in this situation. You got all 3 timeouts. All 3 in less than 2. We just came out of the 2-minute warning. You cannot throw
it.
It
affected his throw, man.
Matt, it didn't. That part, no. That ball died,
bro. That ball died. No.
The hit did not affect the throw.
Yes, it did. He couldn't follow through.
He let the ball go at the peak. That hit did not affect the throw. Please show the play. I'll pull it up. I'll share it.
Here, hold on. No,
I'll share it if you want me to.
I got it right here.
There is. Look at that. Look at that ball. It's out, bro. He's not even getting hit yet. He's not even going backwards from contact.
It's in his fucking hand.
Matt, that's the
in his
stop it.
Fucking
Matt,
hand.
have you ever thrown a football in your life?
Yes.
You don't throw the football and Matt, you don't release the ball here. You release the ball up here. Everybody knows it. You don't release the ball. You don't release the ball here. You release the ball up here. His hand is here, Matt. That's where the release point is. That hit did not affect the throw, bro.
A politician right now, brother.
Stop it, Matt. Matt, you know damn well that is not affecting the ball, bro.
Look,
Matt, that ball. Listen to me. Wait.
His hand is fucking on him right now.
No, that's not a hit. That's not a hit. That's not a hit, and you know it, Matt. That's not a hit, and you know it. Wait, right there. Look,
he can't follow through. Look,
Matt, I'm not even gonna yell. No. Run it back one more time.
Did he follow
Watch
through?
this. Yes, he did actually, but run it back one more time. Right? No, go forward. Wait, one more frame.
His arm is already on his.
Matt, one more frame forward. Boom! His body has not moved since he released that ball. His body has not moved. He did not go backwards yet since he released that. That ball is out of his hands, and he's not backwards, bro.
Where's the defender's helmet?
The defender is not.
Is it in Brock Purdy's right arm? Is it in his
No.
right arm?
That defender's helmet is not affecting the throwing arm at all.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's not affecting the throwing arm at all.
God.
That is on. And
that's so crazy, dude.
And I'm going to take it back to before all of that. If he was a free rusher, you take the sack, you call the timeout because you had 3 of them. Even if Matt, listen to me carefully. I'm telling you I disagree, but we can agree to disagree. I'm cool with that. So even if I
hold on, who is watching the guy go and get Brock Purdy? Who's the guy watching? That's Jake Brendel. I just want to point.
So what? Well, okay, what about 32 right there, wide open with nobody fucking near him? Why is he throwing it across the middle of the goddamn field when there's a guy beyond the line of scrimmage that's right there?
Mike,
listen to me.
Hold on. That's irrelevant. I'm not even defending the decision yet because I don't know what he saw down the field. What I'm saying is that the hit absolutely affected the throw.
It didn't. I disagree. But I know that.
Crazy.
Hear me out. Wait, hear me out. I know that until we get all 22 and we can see the aerial view that we won't be able to tell. I don't believe that the release was affected by the contact.
Watch.
I'm telling you what I think, bro.
When you throw a football, where does your arm end up?
I've played quarterback. I've thrown the football.
Okay, so answer the fucking question.
So listen to me. I've never. Hear me out.
Hold on. No. Answer my fucking question, politician.
I'm trying to.
When you throw, I don't want to hear all that bullshit extra. I play blah blah blah. When you throw a football, where does your arm end up? On your body, where does it end up? When you step into a throw and you follow through. When you throw a football and you follow through and are able to step up, where does your arm end up after you throw the football? Where does it end up?
Are you saying here?
Brock Purdy's hand never dipped below his shoulder. He did not follow through on the throw.
I want you to listen to what I'm asking. I don't want to
listen to anything.
I'm asking for clarity. I'm not answering. I'm asking for clarity.
I can't make it any more clear, Mike.
Yes,
you can. When you throw
a
football, where does your throwing arm end up?
Right. Hear me out. Because where my arm ends up is always going to be down by my hip because I'm following through on the ball. I'm following through. But wait. Are you asking me? Wait. Matt.
Does Brock Purdy's arm ever go below his shoulder?
No, it doesn't.
Because he didn't follow through on the throw, Mike. Jesus.
I want you to listen to what I'm saying, please. Are you asking me at what point I release the ball? Because when I release the ball, the follow through doesn't matter at all. That's what I'm asking you.
Yes, it does. Oh my God.
Matt, please, I want you to hear me out, brother.
I don't want to listen to any of this trash.
I know you don't, because it's going to prove you wrong. Listen to me. Just listen to me. Hear me.
Oh, okay, fine. I'll listen. All right. Go ahead.
If you're asking me where my release point is, I have never once in my entire life of quarterbacking, backyard football, high school football, or anything in between, I have never released the ball with my hand forward like this. It has never been past my forehead. Ever in my entire life have I thrown a pass with my hand beyond my forehead. Anytime I've ever released the ball, boom, it's out right here. Can you see me? That's where my release point is. And if you're asking me where his release point is, it's right there in that shot, and the helmet has not made contact with Brock Purdy. That's all I'm saying. So if you're asking me where my arm finishes, you're right. My arm finishes down by my side if I get the follow through all the way, right? But that's more of a motion setting. That is not my release point of the ball. Anything that happens after the point that you have on the screen right now has nothing to do with the trajectory or the direction of the ball. You can put up all the negative comments about what I'm saying that you want. That's fine. Here's what I will promise you. Dan Orlovsky will break this shit down. He's going to say the same thing, and then I want an apology. That's all I'm saying. Dan Orlovsky is going to break this shit down and going to say the same exact thing that I'm saying, because what you do beyond your forehead has absolutely nothing to do with the fucking ball. Nothing to do with the ball, where it's going, or the placement. Did he get the follow through? No, Matt, you're right. You are right. He did not get the follow through. And
that affects the throw.
It does not.
It absolutely does. Listen,
that ball is off of his fingers.
Allen, if you're Josh, it's not off his fingers. Look, the guy has his arm around Brock Purdy. The ball is still sitting in his hand. You have to let the ball roll off your fingers. His helmet is going into Brock Purdy's throwing arm, which is why he can't follow through.
That helmet is not contacting Brock right now.
Not
that
yet.
Helmet, we can see that from here.
But it stops him from following through, Mike.
He doesn't have to follow through if the ball's out of his goddamn hand. The follow through doesn't matter.
Yes, when you have as little arm as Brock Purdy, it absolutely matters, motherfucker.
Okay, now watch this, right? We just had this debate for a whole 60 seconds. Let's say you're right.
Okay.
If we rewind just 2 more seconds, take the sack. Tell me I'm wrong. This is on Brock Purdy. Take the fucking sack. If you see this guy coming free, you take the sack and you live to fight another down. And that's my problem with this play in particular. Take the fucking sack and live to fight another down. You have to stop. Hear me out. If you are going to be a franchise quarterback that is expected to win games in the clutch, you have to know I don't have a shot at getting this ball off. I got to take the sack and live to fight another down. The sack is better than the turnover in every scenario. Except on fourth down.
Right.
And this was first. Okay. This was first.
Wait. But, okay. You can say that in retrospect. But guess who
else?
No. Okay.
Matt, don't do that. Don't do that, bro. This guy's been in the fucking system for 3 years, and he's got Kyle Shanahan as offensive coordinator. That's not retrospect, bro. That is football 101, Matt. Don't do that. We got to stop coddling this fucking quarterback, Brock Purdy, because he was Mr. Irrelevant. He's no longer Mr. Irrelevant. This is a guy with 3 years of NFL experience. You got to fucking live to fight another down, bro. This was the game-deciding drive. We got to stop coddling this kid. This was all on Brock. The offensive line could have snapped the ball and laid down and let everybody come through. You got to hold on to that ball and take that sack. You got to eat that sack to the face. Pause, no pause, however you want it to be. Just what Matt's doing. Take the sack to the face. Just like that. All I love it. Gobble that shit up. And then you live to fight another down. Because it's 4 down territory.
Are you done?
It's 4 down territory.
Are you done?
Yep.
I wasn't even talking about Brock Purdy. But thank you for that outburst. That was really good. I wasn't talking about Brock Purdy. You know who else doesn't take that sack? Any elite quarterback. You know who did take a sack and it ended up costing you a Super Bowl? Matt Ryan.
They didn't have all 3 timeouts when Matt Ryan took that sack.
It took him out of field goal range.
They didn't have all 3 timeouts when they took that sack.
Field goal range.
It wasn't 4 down territory when he took that sack. You are changing the stipulations of the game that we're discussing.
Okay, fine. Does Lamar Jackson take that sack? No. Does Josh Allen take that sack? No.
I don't know.
Does Patrick Mahomes take that sack? No.
Sure. Say no. Now, wait. Now answer this.
Make a play. And what you're asking your quarterback now to do is be timid with the game on the line.
Should they have taken that sack? All those players that you named, and including Brock Purdy, in this down situation scenario, should they have taken the sack? That's my question.
I can't answer that. And I don't think you can either. Don't confuse me.
Yes, I can. I can answer the fucking question. You got 3 timeouts, and you have to get in the end zone, not a field goal. You take the fucking sack. You can't throw an error throw that you don't think you could follow through on because your offensive line sucks. You cannot take that kind of throw and that kind of risk. You have to take the sack. Period.
Okay.
No, there's no alternate answer. There's no alternate answer.
There is an alternate answer. Mike, you're asking somebody to make a decision to not throw a football and take a sack. And we're talking, look, you literally asked me earlier, go forward a frame. You know a frame is 1/60th of a second, right? You're telling me that in 2 frames, in 1/30th of a second, in the literal less than the blink of an eye, you want him to process, that guy's not open, oh shit, this guy's coming, let me take a sack. You can't even say that to yourself in 1/30th of a second. So
can I tell you?
This is revisionist history at its finest, dude.
I like that. Now watch this. Tap the rewind button twice. Oh, it doesn't let you do the little click?
No, I'm literally doing 1, 2. There's 2.
Okay.
His arm came.
Wait. He hasn't even drawn back yet. Campbell is coming with no one touching him. At that moment, Brock should have known to take the sack. Go back some more. In this moment, Brock still should have known to take the sack. Go back some more. No one's touching Campbell, bro. You got to know to take the fucking sack. Why are we making excuses for this guy? What are you talking about?
I'm not making excuses for Brock Purdy. What I'm saying is football play, dude. You want your quarterback to be timid as fuck?
I want my quarterback to know situational football. I want the guy that's about to make $60 million a year to fucking know that we need to win this game and you got to take the sack. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You got to know to take the fucking sack here. If you can't throw the ball away, if you can't throw this away right now, Matt, there's no one touching 93. There's not a single person touching him right now. Go back some more. Click it back again.
No.
Right.
It's relevant. It's relevant. You can listen. You can say that like you're right. You're wrong. How many years did we watch Jimmy duck dive to the ground because somebody was coming?
I'm not talking about Jimmy no more. No. But you know the difference with Jimmy and Brock? Jimmy would have ducked and took that sack and lived to fight another down. That's what Jimmy Garoppolo would have done. Now, one of the strengths of Brock Purdy. Wait. No. I'm going to give him some credit.
No, I'm out on this. I'm out on this conversation.
Don't tap out because you just brought up something really good. One of the strengths of Brock Purdy is I trust my quickness. I think I can get the ball right there.
I'm arguing against taking the sack, and that's it. And you're absolutely wrong on taking the sack. But you haven't hit the point that is actually right. How am I wrong? You have not hit the point that's actually right, Mike.
Where do we go? Oh, there we go.
You haven't hit the point that's actually right. I'm trying to change this so we can get.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean that's actually right? What do you mean? What do you mean by what you're saying?
I've never once said that Brock Purdy made the right decision. Never once.
So then you agree with me?
No, I disagree that he should have taken the sack.
So he didn't make the right decision, but he also should not have taken the sack. So what in Matt's mind is the right decision?
Okay, I'm trying to get this fucking background off. How do we get this background off? I'm not as good at this as Zach.
That's us.
Okay. Let's just listen. Let's just do this.
You got to stop the screen. If you want to get rid of the play, you got to stop the screen share.
No, I don't want to get rid of the play. I want to get rid of the fucking background.
No. You know what? StreamYard changed it now. If you look all the way to the right, it says something called like media or some shit like that. They changed all this shit up tonight.
Assets,
actually,
but it's not. It's still not taking it off.
No. What else does it say on the side? I'll tell you. Hold on. I'll pull it up on my end. There's another category. This is all new tonight, guys. So don't be mad at Matt. I got you, bro.
No.
I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat said I'm taking this hella personally. I'm not, dude. This is just
no. He's not taking it personal at all. Yeah.
Look, I'm not taking it personal, dude. Quit projecting. It's unchristian like to judge somebody else, dude.
Don't do that, man. That's fucked up.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that.
Go to style. It's under style.
Okay.
No, wait. No, it's not under style. It is media assets. And then when you scroll down, it says overlay. You want to change your overlay. That's what you want to do.
Change the overlay.
Under media assets.
Okay.
And then change your
overlay. Here we go.
There you go.
Okay.
They change again, guys. They changed all this like tonight. So this is all of our first times using this.
Now, you said he should have taken the sack.
I'm saying no one's touching him right now. No one's touching Campbell right now.
He should take the sack. I'm looking at two wide open motherfucking players. My thing is Purdy should have checked the ball down rather than try to force a throw.
He didn't throw either one of the wide open people.
Taylor is wide open and Kittle is wide open, and he forced the throw. That was Brock Purdy's mistake. He should not have taken the sack. You get a 6-yard gain out of Taylor. You get a 4 or 5 yard gain out of Kittle.
We said the same thing.
If you said he should have taken the sack. Right here. Look where his head is. He can see Taylor right there. You said Brock Purdy should have taken the sack. That's what you said.
I said instead of that throw, you take the sack. I said the check down was there. I said that in the beginning. I only said it once. I didn't harp on it like I did everything else. So
yeah,
you're
harping on everything else, but that's the thing. I'm not mad. Listen, I can't even say that down the field he didn't see something. My thing is like if you just say take the sack, then you're taking away aggressiveness from a player that you don't want to be timid. You can
I can agree with you.
My biggest problem with Purdy is he doesn't take the check down, he doesn't throw the ball away.
Yes, and he has gone to the podium and said that multiple times. So I agree with you there. That's cool. So we agree on that part.
And that to me is just him needing to check himself, because it's one thing to say it, right? But now you got to go do it. Don't say.
Can we agree on this?
Check the ball down, and I got to throw it away, and then not do that shit.
And then so can we agree on this? My last question. I don't care how you answer. I won't rebuttal at all.
Anyway,
can we agree that the decision Brock Purdy made was the wrong decision?
Yes, that throw was not the right decision.
Was that his fault?
What was the pick his fault? The decision was his fault.
The decision to make that throw.
The decision was bad. However,
I got nothing else.
However, again, I can't fault what he was thinking until I see, right? The result was bad either way. And he had wide open guys that he could have got the ball to.
And I understand you want to see more down the field because we don't know.
I can't say that Jennings wasn't open.
Shot.
I can't say that wasn't part of the play or that was the read that he was supposed to make.
Yeah.
I can't say that. And if you're looking at a game where, you say live to fight another down. Yeah, he should have taken the check down. Absolutely. But also, if you know Brock Purdy, you know that there were many plays last year, particularly in the NFC Championship game against the Lions, particularly against the Philadelphia game where they won 42-19. There are plays where he extends plays and makes a good play. And if you're going to live with the benefits of that, you also have to live with the mistakes of that. And that's going to be the up and down nature of a quarterback who tries to make a bunch of plays.
But Nolly's P comment at 9:30 is perfect. Conflicted because what we loved about Brock was that he wasn't scared to take a hit and make a big play. But he needs to know he doesn't have the guys to play like that anymore. I think this is a phenomenal and this is right in the middle of everything that we were saying. I like this comment.
And I think that's where the truth lies, right? Like, because here's the thing. Have we seen Brock Purdy take a hit and release the ball and it's complete before? Yeah, we absolutely have.
Absolutely, yeah.
So if you're going to say, like, hey, this time it was cool because it was a good result, then you can't be mad if he does it again and it's a bad result, because that's how Brock Purdy plays. If you have a problem with it, you got to have a problem with the good times too. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing. Like, it's the Brett Favre syndrome, right? You love it because he's a gunslinger and he can fire the ball in there, but then you also hate it because you're going to, have a game where he throws 4 interceptions. You're like, what the fuck is happening? So it's a little bit of both,
That was fun, Matt. I appreciate you for entertaining me. I know we said
good.
before the show that we weren't going to do that.
In the chat, none of it is personal. Just again, I can't stress this enough, man. What we are doing here on camera is like we're bumping it up to 9 because that's entertaining. It's not personal.
Yeah.
Me and Mike talk behind the scenes all the time, and it's not like this at all.
And
this
I
is
swear
so that everybody has an entertaining time. If we just pat each other on the back, 1, we dislocate our shoulders, and 2, it would be boring.
We said we weren't even going to go into that whole thing,
right?
So it was cool. I like
Mr.
that.
Big Twain 49er Brock ain't a gunslinger he's a gunslinger in spirit. He might be shooting a little snub nose 22, but
it's still a gun nonetheless, right?
He's gonna fire that motherfucker.
He wanted to shoot that. Hey, let me tell y'all something, man. They got rifles that are 22 LR. So like let's be clear here.
There you go. There's a shitty Rams fan in the chat. I'm not giving him the time.
Jim Everett. Oh, is that who you're talking about?
Yeah. Here all the time.
He's always
been a troll of us for like 3 years. So he'd probably listen. Take your victory lap. The Rams are probably going to win the West. Enjoy it.
They got the division this year. There you go. Enjoy it while you can, buddy. I mean, look, hey, you got one. You got one out of 4 years. So there you go.
Yeah.
Enjoy your 25% while you can. That's
Purdy's
awesome.
Limited, and defenses don't have to play deep, so defense can blitz more. Knowing actually, I mean, Brock Purdy by the metrics is one of the better deep throwers in the NFL. It's not deep. It's when he needs to get it there with pace. That's the thing. When did I didn't throw shots at the audience, man. I just said it's not very Christian. Somebody look what you're doing.
As a Christian, I forgive you. That's funny. This Christian stuff is coming up. And Merry Christmas, by the way, to all the Christians out there in the chat, man. Hopefully you guys are ready for the holidays, man. Matt and I have had a really, really fun time bringing this episode to you guys.
By the way,
man, Matt,
I didn't even say Purdy was it, by the way. I just said they're going to pay him.
Yeah. And I think we both
He's
of
like
us lean
12
on
to
that.
15, like top 12 to 15 quarterback. Not top 10, not top 5, like 12 to 15.
Yeah. We both land in the same
I'll put
spot.
Jim
when it
Everett
comes
up
to
for
Purdy.
this. I'll put Jim Everett up for this. Everybody
There you go.
Christmas spirit. I love it.
Purdy's going to get paid by the 49ers and this offseason. Like we just got to accept it. We just got to hope that he shows to be
all I'm
the
hoping
market is the market.
Is that if we pay Brock Purdy, that it ends up better than Dak Prescott in Dallas. It's a very low bar to clear, but
he's got to win a wild card game. Like what the fuck? That's
what I'm saying. He's already done.
You know what's crazy? If we get Brock Purdy for that number, and he wins a wild card game or a divisional game, right? He will be better. He will be better than any of the other quarterbacks making that much money a year. Prescott, The guy
Lawrence.
in Jacksonville, Trevor. Yeah. That's the other guy over there. Hell, even the Bengals guy.
Yeah, I mean that. Oh, Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
Bro, Burrow made a Super Bowl though.
Yeah, he made one. I mean, we should have been there, but like,
hey,
come on.
Burrow's fucking nice this year,
Brock's made a Super Bowl also. I stand on what I said. Brock will still be better than Burrow because he made a Super Bowl also. So like, F out of here. Like, nah, I'm not trying to do that shit.
See, I can't abide that. Joe Burrow's better.
Brock has made a Super Bowl and an NFC Championship. Burrow has not done that.
Well, but okay, now we're talking about QB wins, which is not a thing. Listen, if we ain't doing it for Jimmy, I didn't do it for Jimmy. QB wins is not a stat.
Well, don't make me defend Brock right now. Listen, I just kicked this back in for 10 minutes.
Listen, Joe Burrow completing 69% of his passes. He has 4,200 yards passing, 39 touchdowns to 8 picks. Like, he's balling this year. And the team fucking sucks because they can't defend anything. It ain't his fault they're losing. Just like it ain't Patrick Mahomes', thing that they're winning so many games.
Oh, that they're winning. I was about to say, what are you okay. I like that.
The Chiefs are one of 4 teams that don't have a 31-point performance this season, and all the other teams are like 3-12.
No, combined, they have 7 wins. The other 3 teams have 7 wins combined.
And the Chiefs are 13.
And meanwhile, the Chiefs are 13-1.
Yeah. Chiefs has the best defense in the NFL.
That lets you know how that defense works. The defense kicks ass, and that's why the Niners need to go out there and invest on defense to get rid of Fiscal Sirik.
And the Chiefs got 12 people on each side of the ball. Well, I guess how many refs are on the field?
16,
they got 15 or 16
yeah,
people on. Yeah. Did you see that crazy shit where the dude was like literally pulling the dude down from behind, and then he happened to hit Patrick Mahomes barely across the face, and they called a roughing the passer. Like,
here comes a flag. Here it comes. Got to give it to him.
Holding, and they were like, no, roughing the passer. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. My man Tony T in here says Similac. That's my guy. That's one of my OGs. I smoke cigars with there. He is a Dolphins fan. I told you guys would get this win, man. So you guys got it. And your playoff hopes are still alive, man. So good luck to you guys, man.
My wife is a Dolphins fan too.
Yeah, this was a rough one. This was definitely a rough one, man. And I'm glad your daughter isn't old enough to know what's going on right now. So
nah, she's fine. Listen, there's one Brock fan in particular that's making a lot of excuses. His name rhymes with Mavid Shumbardi.
That was a terrible rhyme.
I know. Listen, David Lombardi drives me up a wall, dude. It's everybody but Brock Purdy's fault, and it's just like, everybody is to blame for a lot of things. Like, Brock Purdy isn't all at fault, but also he's not blameless either, and that's the big takeaway for all of this. Brock Purdy is like a B quarterback, a B- quarterback, and that might be good enough if everything is going well, but like, to pretend that he's like the end all be all, because he did the same. It's like crying wolf. He did the same shit with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Right. You think he'd be willing to take a discount so the team can stay around him?
Brock Purdy, man, I don't know. Part of me thinks that he might, but what's a discount? What do you consider a discount? Would it be like between 40 and 50?
No.
Would it be under 60? I think
52 tops is the discount area. Anything above 52.
So if he's 50 a year, you think that's a discount?
Hell yeah, I do.
Okay,
I do.
I mean, if
you got 3 or 4 guys making 60 a year,
right? I think if he goes to the level of like Patrick Mahomes, which is like 45, that would be a hometown discount. That would be one at least that I would be impressed with.
Okay,
but yeah. Anyway, Jim Everett. Hey, Jim Neverett. I see yo, BA. You'll lay down like you did in the NFC Championship game with no one in front of you. Merry Christmas. The Lambs will be sacrificed at some point. I mean, the Rams are going to be sacrificed their first playoff game.
That, I feel like. Showing that BA was well placed. I see what you did there. He's not talking about Brandon Ayuk. I see you.
No,
BA.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Exactly
all
what
right.
he's talking about.
That one was good.
Should I do more rhymes?
Yeah, come on. What you got?
Rhymes with
it's Taz. Yeah. All right, man. Let's get up out of here, Matt. This was a fun show, man. Listen, guys, the season is over for the 49ers. It's evaluation time. I would like to see more rookies get involved. I want to see he didn't get out there, but Zeke Abinaconda, I wanted to see what he could do out there. The 49ers refused to go to him. If it was not Taylor, it was either Kyle Juszczyk or Deebo Samuel.
maybe that's why he didn't throw Taylor the check down, because Taylor like butterfingered like 4 passes. One of them was almost
intercepted,
pick, and if it didn't like hit the grass first, which I thought was questionable, I actually thought it was a pick.
I would have given them that pick.
I would have given the big man the pick, like, to be honest.
Yeah, that shit did not move when it touched the ground. I would have given them the pick on that. You know, but hey, listen, ball don't lie. They got what they needed and they won. So
real quick before we go, this is my only point. Do I think everybody here is the best? No, but you don't get rid of Kyle unless you find someone better, and you don't get rid of Purdy unless you find someone better.
There you go.
If you can't do that, then you let it rock with what you got. But I like this. You don't get rid of Sorensen unless you find better. Wait, anyone is better. See, he gets it. He gets it.
He even put the LOL after, so we didn't have to.
He did. Listen, it's draft season. I'm cool. I know this sounds counterintuitive as a 49ers fan, but I'm cool with giving the young guys a run, and if they lose out, all the better, because they're going to get a better draft pick for it. So, tough one against the Lions. I think they lose by 3 touchdowns. I just think the Lions are too good. Shout out to Jameer Gibbs, who carried me to a victory in my fantasy today. I will be in the championship game next week. So
there you go, baby. Hold up. Let's go.
So, man, it's going to be tough. We're going to have to find a minute to do a preview show, because I'm leaving Tuesday, and I'll be back Sunday. So it might be you and Zach next time.
All right. Well, I mean, listen, I'm available. If you guys let me know when, I will make it happen. Even if I'm at work spending the night, I will have my laptop with me. I'll have Wi-Fi over there at the office. Yeah. I'm bringing the TV and the PS5. Like, I'll be out gaming all night long. We just got to make sure that someone's in the building for inventory purposes, because we're supposed to be getting audited. So we'll see.
Yeah. Didn't Sorensen hold the Finns at 22 before Purdy's pick and held the Rams at 12? Look, even a dog's asshole gets some sunlight every now and again. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And then, Jesus is Lord, I'm going to give you one of the last words. Why do you believe so hard that the Niners will pay Purdy? Do you really think Shanahan wants Purdy for the long haul? The team is saying it. The team is saying it. There's no reason to believe that they won't. And then who are you going to get? They're going to be really gun shy to go in a brand new direction after the debacle that was Trey Lance and after the debacle that was Jimmy Garoppolo.
One little caveat is that because Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant, that threat to hold out, he's losing his entire salary. I think that works in the 49ers' favor. If this guy was a first or second round pick, it'd be a little bit different. He's got a little bit more money to play with. But fine, sit out for your $1 million and
the only argument against that is he probably makes more from the Applebee's and Toyota's deal than he does from the 49ers, to be honest.
Oh, no, there's no probably. He absolutely does. He 1,000% does.
I mean, if that's that, then, it is what it is. I don't think that they're going to let this drag on, though. I think they're going to sign him quickly. The old saying, a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush, is like really going to apply here. I don't think they want another. I don't think either side wants another Brandon Ayuk style holdout or a Nick Bosa style holdout.
Yeah, that hurt the team.
Done early. It did hurt.
Yeah, they got to stop this shit, and hopefully the Niners learn from their errors, right? Like, it doesn't matter who it is that we're talking about or what position it is that they play. Like, let's stop this, like, going into the regular season bullshit that other teams just don't do, right? Like, let's go ahead and get things done before July or August, and if it's not done by then, have a meeting and say, hey, we are not going to extend you. This is what we're going to play on, and go out there and just do it from there.
Yeah. I think that's also, I mean, the top free agent quarterback is going to be what? Kirk Cousins and Sam Darnold, and like, you're not going to pay those guys, right? So,
you never know what Kyle's thinking. So
it does. I think that actually does kind of work into the 49ers' favor a little bit, though.
Especially with Cousins, right?
You're not Cousins that much better than Sam Darnold and Kirk Cousins, and we can go get one of those for way less. Like, we're willing to give you the security of a multi-year deal, but you're going to have to take so we'll see how it plays.
We will discuss throughout the year. I promise you guys, we will break all of this down ad nauseum. I promise you guys are going to get more tired of it than us not discussing it. So,
and by the way, get ready. I'm already diving into college tape. So I'm looking at the offensive tackles right now to see who would be the best fit. Simmons, Campbell, those guys are at top of mind right now, but we'll see. So thank you guys for joining us here tonight. Mike, tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, thank you all for checking us out tonight, man. We had a lot of fun on today's episode. Hopefully you guys did too. If you guys are looking for more 49ers content, you guys can follow me over on Nothing But Niners. That is on the YouTube page. And if you guys are looking for some exclusive content, head on over to patreon.com/NB9ERS. It is right there underneath Matt. You see it down there in the corner of the screen. Patreon.com/NB9ERS. And for those of you who are watching right now from the Nothing But Niners page, please head on over and give my guys a follow. You see it under me. All right, 49ersHive.com. That'll show you where to get to their Patreon. Their YouTube, their SoundCloud, their all that stuff, Spotify, everything. All right, iTunes, 49ersHive.com. Make sure you guys are giving them a follow on YouTube as well.
Listen, the boys in the chat would be, in the WhatsApp chat would be happy with me if I said this. So it's Ashton Jeanty season. Let's go and get him. They love Ashton.
The running back?
Yeah, I think he's going to be a bust. Just like
they think they're taking him in the first round.
They don't really. It's kind of a running joke we have.
Oh,
it's like 49ers are going to take Ashton Jeanty. I think he's a bust. I think Travis Hunter's a bust. I know Shadur Sanders is a bust. I think Cam Ward is a bust. I think this is a very poor draft in terms of skill position players, but defensively and in the offensive line, I think it's actually a pretty deep draft. So we'll see. Draft season for me. Very interested in it. So thank you guys for joining us. Again, go subscribe to the Patreon over Nothing But Niners. Go follow Mike on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter. Like, subscribe, comment. Thank you as always for joining us. It's a tough season, but the pressure's off. They're eliminated. So while the 49ers won't be in the playoffs, we're going to be here all throughout the playoffs and into the offseason. We're going to be looking forward to maybe a resurgence next year. So thank you as always for joining us. We love having you here. And until next time, go Niners.